gonna start from the top of this list. We're gonna start with the game that I watched today. This one here, Bengals versus Cowboys. Now, I picked the Cowboys to win this game, and there was a point where it looked like they were in a position at least to make that happen. And then one of the most baffling things I've ever seen in a football game happened. Now, obviously we had that Chicago Bears not calling a timeout thing happen not that long ago. Was that last week? The week before? I don't know. If that hadn't have happened this season, this might have been like the moment of the season that people would remember for all the wrong reasons. And I guess that was more coach malpractice than this is, but I don't know how to describe it. Really, the Bengals, the score is 20-20. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. It is 4-27. The Bengals drive is well and truly dead, and all the Cowboys have to do to win this game: receive the punt, go down, get into field goal position, put up 3 points, and there's like a 99% chance that they win this game. The Cowboys rush. They block the punt. Their hands, get to the ball goes way out, like to the right kind of. But nobody has control of the ball. And the Bengals recover. And with this loss, the Cowboys are basically all but guaranteed to miss the playoffs. And I was in utter disbelief. I was in disbelief for multiple reasons. I was watching this game live on Netflix, and they had on Disney Plus, and they had the Simpsons live animation thing going. I always watch those when I can, and it's crazy to me how this is like our third or fourth one at this point. They've had the SpongeBob ones, there was this one which is the Simpsons one, there was a Toy Story one, and it still is so janky. So when I was actually watching this play live, the blocked punt, it was all the Simpsons characters and just bad animation and really ridiculous. So I had to go back and find a video of the play with actual players and not, Lisa Simpson and Maggie and such, because that's how I watched the rest of this game, was with the Simpsons. But yeah, just absolutely. And then the cherry on top is, of course, Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. They get the touchdown right after that, and that's game over. Cowboys players are going back to the locker room early. It's just this was a backbreaker, and this almost feels like a play that, if this team gets completely torn apart in this offseason, if they blow it up, players get traded, we might point to this game as the reason why. But our final score is Cincinnati 27, Dallas 20. Joe Burrow, 33 completions on 44 attempts, 369 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Cooper Rush, 16 completions on 31 attempts, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Okay. Let's move now crazy. I bet the Bills to win. And we're not off to a good start here because I get another loss. And also, this puts me in the very uncomfortable position as a Seahawks fan to have to root for the San Francisco 49ers next week. Because we need the Los Angeles Rams to win. Or excuse me, to lose. The opposite of what I said first. We need the Rams to lose. We have the tiebreaker against the Niners. We need, because the Rams won this game, we need them to lose next week. Then them and the Niners will have the same record. But the Niners will hold the tiebreaker against the Rams. Will hold the tiebreaker against the Niners. I don't know how that all works out, but all I know is I'm in the uncomfortable position of needing to hope that the San Francisco 49ers now win a football game. This game was absolutely insane for multiple reasons. What was crazy is that the Rams were up in this game, like, from the start. They get the first touchdown. They go up 24-14 going into halftime. They're up going into the fourth quarter, and then the Bills almost bring it back and get the W, but they're unable to get it back 100%, get the win. And the Bills fall just a little bit short. And this game is a historic game for Josh Allen. He is the first player in NFL history to throw 3 passing touchdowns and get 3 rushing touchdowns in the same game. First player in NFL history to ever do that. Personally, I think that right there probably cemented his MVP win. But what's even, I guess not more impressive, but what this game will be remembered for is that crazy Puka catch for the touchdown towards the end of the game in the fourth quarter, which sealed the win for the Los Angeles Rams and cemented me here to a 0-2 start to the week. Final score is 44-42 in favor of the Rams. Josh Allen has 22 completions on 37 attempts, 342 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, no interceptions. Matthew Stafford, 23 completions on 30 attempts, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Alright, let's get another embarrassing loss out of the way early. I said the Bears would beat the 49ers. I never believed it in my heart of hearts. Like I said, it was mainly just preying on the downfall of our division rivals. But there's a very interesting stat that now exists because of this game. Caleb Williams has gone 6 consecutive starts without throwing an interception. That ties the longest streak by a rookie quarterback since 1950. So, if in the next game Caleb Williams does not throw an interception, he will hold the record for longest streak without throwing an interception by a rookie quarterback. But the Bears are the first team in the Super Bowl era to lose 6 consecutive games in which they did not throw an interception. So the ball security is there, but the rest of the game is not there. And they lose this game pretty badly, but 38-13 in favor of the San Francisco 49ers. Caleb Williams, 17 completions on 23 attempts, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Brock Purdy, 20 completions on 25 attempts, 325 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Okay, now let's switch gears. This is one that I almost got wrong within the final hour. I got it right. I said the Chiefs would beat the Chargers, and they almost didn't. But in the end of that game, the Chiefs go for the field goal, and the ball's going up, and it hits the upright. Now 9 times out of 10, when a ball hits the upright, it flies out the other direction, no good. I would reckon not even 9 times out of 10, probably 99 times out of 100. But this is the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't know if it's like divine intervention of God or black magic witchcraft that is doing this for them, but it's one or the other, because the ball goes in, it hits the upright and goes in, and the Kansas City Chiefs win their 12th game on the season, 19-17 in their favor. Only one touchdown on the entire day, the rest of it was all field goals. Patrick Mahomes, 24 completions on 37 attempts, 210 yards, a touchdown, no picks. Justin Herbert, 21 for 30, 213 yards, 1 touchdown, although 0 interceptions. Alright, let's get another W up on the board, please, shall we? Seahawks versus Cardinals. Now, I picked the Seahawks to win again. Just kind of being a homer here. It's kind of been the theme of these early picks. But I was always a little bit nervous about this, I'm not gonna lie. The Cardinals do scare me a bit, but more than the Cardinals, that stadium scares me. I feel like we always have players getting hurt at that stadium. Like, I think that's where Earl Thomas got hurt, was at that stadium. So I was really nervous about that. But then Zach Charbonnet had an absolute beast of a game. We do not win this game without Zach Charbonnet. 2 touchdowns, 134 yards on 22 carries. Amazing performance from him. JSN goes off and has a good game. And the Seahawks, we win this game 30-18 against the Arizona Cardinals, against a division rival. I have to stop doing that. I don't know why that keeps happening. Geno Smith, 24 completions on 30 attempts, 233 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. Kyler Murray, 25 for 38, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Jets, Dolphins. I picked the Dolphins here. They do get the W, and in doing so, they ensure that the New York Jets miss the playoffs, extending the longest active drought in all 4 major U.S. sports, with 14 years out of the playoffs. And the messed up thing is, I think second place is the Buffalo Sabres, so it's 2 New York sports teams there. But the New York Jets, yeah, just an absolute terrible season from them. It'll be interesting to see what they do going forward next year. The Dolphins are still alive. They are turning things around from that bad start to the season. They're second in the AFC East. I wonder what their odds are at making the playoffs at the moment. At the moment, they have an 8.8% chance of making the playoffs, less than 10% chance, but they're technically still alive. 32-26 is your final score in favor of Miami. Aaron Rodgers has 27 completions on 39 attempts, 339 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Tua Tagovailoa, 33 completions on 47 attempts, 331 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Now, let's go Panthers, Eagles. I picked the Eagles here. Not a shocker they get the W. But Bryce Young, I think, has secured himself as the franchise QB for the Panthers officially. And it's interesting to watch even this very, very good Eagles team. We know they're one of the best teams in the league, with a solid defense. And the blitz, they're throwing whatever at him, and he's staying calm. He's not letting that pressure get to him. It's pretty cool to watch. And this Eagles team, they're in a great spot going into these playoffs now. Again, we're still too early for teams to start sitting guys. I think if you're a team like the Eagles, I don't know, today, I'm not sure. I'm not good at the playoff math. I've never been good at that, but like my fear is always like rather be safe than sorry. Like having a important player get injured like 2 weeks out from the playoffs. I don't know. I'm always extra cautious with those things, I feel, than probably the actual teams are. But Eagles win it 22-16. Bryce Young 19 for 34, 191 yards, a touchdown, and interception. Jalen Hurts 14 for 21, 108 yards, 2 passing, 1 rushing touchdowns, and no interceptions. Browns versus Steelers. I win Steelers here. They do get the W. They do. 27 to 14 in favor of the Steelers. I think the Browns are now officially eliminated from the playoffs as well after this loss. We're starting to get to that time of year where the math is mathing out, but I think they're now officially eliminated, or maybe they were last week. I'm not 100% sure. But it's going to be interesting to see what the QB situation is going to be like in Cleveland next year. Because James Winston has been a bit of a breath of fresh air, even though the team is still struggling. Speaking of, he had 24 completions on 41 attempts. He had 212 yards. He threw for 2 touchdowns. He also threw 2 interceptions. Russell Wilson, 15 completions on 26 attempts, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Raiders, Buccaneers. I took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won this game. The final score was 28-13 in their favor. Aiden O'Connell had 11 completions on 19 attempts. He threw for 104 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, although he did have a little short 1-yard rushing touchdown. Baker Mayfield, 18 for 29, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Okay, Jaguars, Titans. So this game, I didn't think this was going to be like a layup for the Titans, because they are still the Titans, but I was thinking like surely, like without Trevor Lawrence, the Titans should win this game. And man, they sure didn't. I don't want to say he had a lot of hype, but I remember there being like a decent amount of hype around Will Levis last year, and people like talking about, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what it was because it was so long ago, but I felt like there's a lot of low-key like talk about Will Levis, and at the moment it's not looking great. The Jaguars win this one 10-6, and this is one of those games where it's like the people who watch this game beginning to end are truly faithful fans that deserve to have their time and effort rewarded with football success at some point in time, because good lord. Mac Jones, he had 23 completions on 31 attempts, 220 yards, 0 passing touchdowns, 0 rushing touchdowns as well, 2 interceptions. Will Levis, 19 completions on 32 attempts, 168 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The watching this game did not see a touchdown until the final 6 minutes of regulation. Like, they watch so much football where just absolutely nothing was happening. It is kind of crazy to think about. Saints, Giants. I took the Giants here. I was like, two bad teams. Spencer Rattler versus Drew Lock, whatever. Or Derek Carr was back. I think we knew that coming in. I was like, maybe I'll stick with my guy Drew here. I don't know. Former Seahawk. Good lord, Drew Lock did not look good in this game. There's kind of an infamous clip. Well, not infamous because it's new, but there's a pretty bad clip of him from this game. Just absolutely, he's rushing downfield and he turns into the oncoming defenders instead of away from them. Like, he turns into the tackles. I'm not sure what he was really planning on doing there, but the Saints won this one 14-11. Put another red up there. Yeesh. Getting killed. Derek Carr doing completions on 31 attempts, 219 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Drew Lock 21 for 49. 227 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Falcons versus Vikings. This game got ugly. Now, Kirk Cousins was getting booed at the stadium. I don't really understand that. Like, he's the best quarterback they've had since Favre. Like, by all accounts, Kirk Cousins is a great guy. Like, personally, he was always, like, cool with the team. So I don't know why any fans have any, like, animosity towards him. But, like, unfortunately, it's looking like, from a football standpoint, Kirk Cousins is just kind of cooked. Like, this is what, like 6 interceptions and no touchdowns thrown over the last 2 weeks. It's just looking rough, and he's on that big deal long term. They have Penix, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's such an ugly situation. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do. And then the Vikings are talking Sam Darnold. I saw this report today from Schultz. It's becoming clear in league circles that quarterback Sam Darnold will command a high price this offseason and could be out of the Vikings' budget. And I saw somebody say it's gonna be like Nick Foles on the Jaguars or something. I could see that. But then we always kind of knew Sam Darnold was supposed to be a stopgap until J.J. McCarthy was gonna play. But then with, like, Sam Darnold playing this well, it's like, well, do you want to give the team over to a second-year player who, for all intents and purposes, it will be his rookie season, even though he's in year 2, like, because the Vikings are 11-2 at the moment. They're gonna be making the playoffs. And it's like, do you just kick out the guy that helped you do that? Excuse me, I did pick the Vikings here, though. It's like, do you just kick out the guy who helped you do that, but then do you commit big money to what could be a flash in the pan season for a quarterback who, over the course of his career, has consistently been an average to below average starting quarterback? Like, it's a really big decision the Vikings have to make this offseason, and it's going to impact the direction of their franchise going forward. To me personally, I don't think Sam Darnold's going to be worth big money. I don't see it. I think if a team makes Sam Darnold a high-paid quarterback, they're going to regret it. Just like I think if you make Brock Purdy one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in league history, like some rumors are circulating, I think people are going to regret that as well. But the Vikings win this one 42-21. Kirk Cousins, 23 completions on 37 attempts, 344 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Sam Darnold, 22 for 28, 347 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Amazing game from Sam Darnold. Now we have the Packers versus the Lions, and I told you guys this game was going to be close. I told you it was going to be a close one, but I gave the edge to the Lions. And it was close. The line for this game was 3.5. The Lions win it by 3. So, Vegas knows what they're talking about. 34-31 in their favor. And this Green Bay offense really did not do that much. So that makes this, for Green Bay, I'm sure they feel like they could have done a little bit more here to potentially get the win. But the Detroit Lions, they did what they had to do, even with some deficiencies in defense, missing players, some key injuries. And they get the W here to be 12-1. One of the powerhouse teams in the NFL coming into this final stretch of the season, of course. Jordan Love, 12 completions on 20 attempts, 206 yards, a touchdown, no picks. Jared Goff, 32 for 41, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And that's the week, everybody. There were 13 games. I got 2, 4, 6, 8 out of 13. Let's see, that is 8 divided by 13. 62%, so we're gonna drop a bit. But that means we go 134 for 198, 208. 208. So if we do 134 divided by 208, we are still sitting at 64%. It feels like that's gonna kind of be where I'm at all season long for the rest of this thing, just because our numbers are getting so big. But there you have it, guys. Admittedly, we're getting into that part of the season where I find it harder and harder to care about the games. And the fact that it feels like the NFL is going to try to add another week to the schedule is madness to me. Like, we already know who's good, we already know who's bad. We already have a pretty good idea of who could and who will not win the Super Bowl. Like, I know obviously it's like, oh, this team might make it there on the bubble, and there'll be a couple of like surprise teams that get in and they'll make the wild card round and this, that, and the other. But ultimately, there's like a 5% chance one of those teams makes the Super Bowl. Like, I don't know. It's this part of the season where it really kind of drags a little bit. I'm ready for the wild card round to start personally. I've noticed I've been watching fewer games. Like, I only watched 3 games this week. Last week I only watched 2 or 3, whereas before I was watching like 5 or 6. And it's just like, I have better things to do with my time than watch more regular season football, it feels like. But anyway, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day. Till next time, guys.